Welcome back. Last night we met one of our Forever Home success stories. Carolyn Holmes found her adopted family after being featured here on Fox 17.
But how does the adoption process within the foster care system work? We are breaking down that process for you tonight.
There are 303 children waiting for an adoptive family today as we speak.
Numbers that are proving to be overwhelming for the state of Michigan.
We don't have enough foster homes, so when there's not a foster home available, unfortunately the youth has to be placed in a group setting.
It's those children, together with Orchard's Children's Services, who we feature right here on Fox 17.
Try this one.
The majority of them have been in that group setting for more than 2 years and in the foster care system for much longer.
I think some give up and lose hope and don't think that it's possible to be adopted.
That's exactly why the Holmes family in Howard City wanted to adopt Caroline after seeing her story on TV.
So we really feel like we are the best parents for her.
The first step is getting in touch with the child's adoption agency. They'll get your information, pass it along to the child's team, and invite you to an orientation.
It will break down some of the experiences these kids have had and how that impacts them and who they are today.
As an adoption resource consultant, Dana Wright says it's important for people to have an open mind.
You may hear about abuse and neglect situations that may be very difficult to hear about, hearing how kids respond, hearing how kids react, and then you can sit back and think, wow, I've taken all this in. Is this something that I want to do?
And if the answer is yes, you'll fill out an adoption application. Then the home study process begins.
And then we've got trainings. Then we've got background checks, and you have home visits from your licensor that's coming in and making sure that you've got enough space and the home's appropriate for a child to be in.
Once the state approves a foster care and/or adoption license, parents can start attending meet and greets with a handful of youth up for adoption.
You play games, you engage with them, and you can see if you hit it off with somebody.
If there's a match, the group can meet one-on-one. Since the Holmes family knew they wanted to meet Caroline specifically, they skipped right ahead to that step.
We knew from the moment that we met her that she was our child.
It just warmed me that they weren't like, oh, I'm meeting her. It's yay, I'm meeting her.
The group can get to know each other over several outings before kids are allowed to start overnight and weekend visits.
Some transitions are shorter, some are longer. It depends on the youth and how they're feeling and how they're processing all this happening.
The entire process is driven by the child and their needs. So if a youth feels most comfortable in only a single-parent household, or they'd be better off without other kids in the house, their agency does their best to make it happen.
We want them to be successful. And in order to be successful, they have to be comfortable where they're going.
If parents want to proceed, they'll have a minimum 6-month foster to adopt period before signing official adoption papers. A day the Holmes family can't wait for come May.
Adoption for us has been an amazing experience and allowed us to be able to offer that love and support to a teenager that is receptive to that and longing for it.
It's a big relief and a new beginning for everyone involved.
We're happy that child's got his forever home and he or she has some place to be for the rest of their lives to call home.
Now, Wright says even though the kids have been through a lot, you don't need to be a psychologist to be a good parent, and there are plenty of resources for adopted families to work through those hurdles. Now, a big misconception about adopting is that it's expensive. According to the MDHHS and Orchard's Children's Services, parents adopting through the foster care system will only have to pay for court fees and documents like birth certificates, so that comes to around $200. Oftentimes, the state will reimburse you for that, too. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Orchard's Children's Services. That number is right there on your screen.